Yay Media Group.
That's what I do. So it's never been like when I saw the people in the audience like react to the lines, I was like, we made you feel something.
Right.
That
actually worked.
Feel something.
That worked.
We made you feel something. You felt something else when you walked in here. You were feeling something else. And by the time you left, you feel something else. That's what I'm hooked on.
Hey dude, I think the 90s are calling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Hey Dude, the 90s Called podcast. I am Christine Taylor and I am here with my partner in nostalgia, David Lasher.
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How have you been?
I've been really good. I had a funny story to tell you. Hannah, my oldest daughter, played a prank on Jill and I that was so real and so disturbing and so unlike her. So Jill and I are at a store. We're like about to check out. We're ringing up some stuff, and Hannah's staying at my sister-in-law's apartment on the Upper East Side.
Okay.
And she sends us a text of a photo of a homeless guy sleeping on my sister-in-law's couch. Right? It's a doorman building, and Hannah's like, we're trapped in the apartment. I'm in Sienna's room, her cousin's room, and I don't want to wake him up and walk past him. Like, what do we do? And Jill starts freaking out. Call 911.
Wait, so you recognize the couch, and there was the homeless it's the apartment. Like, you know the apartment.
It's Nicole's apartment,
so
her living
totally
room
real.
couch. There's a guy that looks all disheveled, messed up, sleeping on the couch with a backpack next to him. And I'm like, how the hell would this guy get into the building?
It's a doorman building, right?
Yeah. None of it made sense to me, but Jill was panicking.
Oh my God.
And everyone in the store obviously knew, what's going on? Oh my God, there's a stranger in my daughter's apartment.
Oh my God.
And she can't get out. So I call my brother-in-law, who I think is probably like close by, and he starts freaking out. And within 5 minutes, we have the police, we have my brother-in-law, everyone's freaking out. Everyone in the store is freaking out. And then Hannah calls Jill and she's like, wasn't that funny? It's a TikTok trend.
Okay. What? It's a trend?
I know. Jill was like, that's not, yeah, Riley's nodding. There's a filter on TikTok
We're
where you
obviously
could put
too old. We're too old, obviously, to know this.
Like, Hannah, did you think we would understand that this might be a joke?
You take a picture of your room and then you put this filter over it, and there's the same.
Hannah then sent us a photo, and it was her kissing, the guy kissing her, and she said he's actually really nice. So you could take this homeless guy and put him in any position doing anything and send it to someone as if it's a real photo.
Okay. Do our listeners know about this? Please weigh in, because I don't know. Did Chelsea know about it? Did you tell Chelsea?
We weren't even with Chelsea, but yeah, Chelsea said, she said, I'm bummed Hannah did it. I was going to do it to you first. But, but now I'm on guard with AI and with TikTok filters. You never know what's real or what's not real.
Well, that's terrifying. And as a parent, when you have a kid living 3,000 miles away and something like that gets sent, that is panic time.
If Ella did that to you, said, "Mom, there's a homeless guy on my couch."
Oh, no. Like, I don't even know. I would have responded the same way. Yeah. I also know that like Ella would never have gotten close enough to even take a picture. So like, that's the other thing. I'm like, she would never have even been able to, like, if she even suspected, she would have run screaming. But like, that is terrifying.
All logic goes out of your head. Like, I knew this didn't make sense, but Hannah's trapped back in the bedroom. This guy's on the couch. He could wake up and get aggressive. Like, that's all I thought of.
How did she rectify the prank gone wrong? Like, did she just apologize profusely? Because she set off turning, like, your brother-in-law was on his way. Police were called.
Yeah.
Like what? How did the fire get put out?
She apologized, but she also was with her 17-year-old cousin, Sienna. So she was like, Sienna thought it'd be funny, but we didn't want to do it to her mom, my sister-in-law, because she was out with friends. So they thought it'd be funny to do it to us.
That is so. I mean, I've come to expect a prank or two, which are, on the usual April Fools. On April 1st, there's always like, as a family, you expect there's going to be something ridiculous. But like out of the blue, when you have a kid that you said like never does things like that, that is so
you just
crazy.
Believe it.
I would have bought it. I
right.
totally would have bought it. All right. Are you okay? It seems like you still need to like talk
I'm okay.
this out.
No. I'm just on guard. I'm on guard.
Lord, Hannah. Well, I'm glad it's only a TikTok prank, but it is worrisome that is something that like is going around. But at least now I know about it. All right. We've got a great guest today who started working like in the early 80s as a little kid and has been working ever since. A lot of 90s projects that we've had other guests on talking about.
Can't
Seth
Buy Me Love,
Green.
Cards with the Tarts.
Seth is literally, he's been doing this forever, and I cannot wait to talk to him about all things 90s and then some. So shall we bring in Seth Green?
I know it would take a lot to shock Seth Green, so we're not going to go.
Yes.
It's true, but I'm also very polite. And I've become keenly aware over time that sometimes my thresholds are further than most people. So I have to really put myself in a cautious place when I meet people for the first time.
Well, you let it all out on Robot Chicken, right? That's where you you let it all fly.
Well, that's sort of a safe place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, man. As long as it's funny. As long as it's funny.
It has to be funny, and we don't like mean stuff. Like there's stuff that where you're like, oof, that's right on the edge, but we'll never come at a person too personally. We have picked very personal jokes with people, but felt justified in them because we knew the person and we're like, this is a thing we're making fun of.
Right. And yes, and if it's it's
both signing that, Christine, even without knowing like any example.
I will co-sign that as somebody who as someone who lives in the world of comedy and has been in the family of
controversial
funny people
comedy.
and I do feel like that is an important thing of like that there is a difference of just the mean versus the where it's being done and it's pointing something out and that person will hopefully have a sense of humor about it. I do think that's important.
I think
you got to do that.
I do too. I grew up on Python and all the British comedies where it was so sophisticated and so intelligent and also so silly. This real demonstration that even the most posh of characters was very human in all that. I thought that's always informed everything that I do. Like, where's the person inside of whatever this joke is? Because that makes it funny. Then everybody can relate to it. You're like, oh shit, that's a person and a feeling I felt.
That.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
but
well,
for you,
Seth MacFarlane also gets away with that stuff. I mean, that must have
He's got a lot of plausible deniability at this point. Like he's been out of he hasn't been writing on that show for like 5 or 6 years.
No, but even like the pop references would be someone so obscure from the 80s, like that only like if you
goes hard though. Family Guy will be like, "You look like a horse," and you know what I mean. I'm always a little like, "Hey, I'm gonna see her at the Emmys, man. Don't say that shit."
That's great.
Every once in a while, they would give Chris a line in a script, and I'm like, "I know this guy. Don't make me say this. And you can make this joke, but just don't make me say it.
Don't make me say it, right?"
Yeah.
But Seth, you talked about like growing up, your influences, and you started so young. Like, were you always
you were a teenager, weren't you? You guys were both teenagers,
but we were
right?
teenagers. You were like
7.
9, 7. I was going to say, were you even double digits
when I got my
at that
first
point?
job. No,
Yeah,
but
so were you?
I realized it was lucky. I knew what I wanted to do early. Like I had that lightning bolt early.
Where? How? At 7 or 8 years old? How did you get that lightning
Yeah,
bolt?
it was 5 and 6, even funnier. So my mom worked at summer camps, running the art program, and I was too young to be a camper, but I was just hanging out all the time, like running that place. And she would ask some of the teenagers in the older bunks or the younger counselors to babysit me. And so I'd just like hang out with these teenagers all day. And I was so aspirational, right? Like I really didn't like hanging out with other kids. It just it seemed so stupid. And I wanted to like find out what the adults were into and learn all of the stuff that they knew.
So you just had a natural curiosity of like, I want to be with I want to be with the older group. I want to be with, I want to be where it's at.
And then also low pro, whenever it was girls, they were like teenagers and I was, 5 or 6 years old, and they would always just like change in front of me and tell their other girlfriends like, he doesn't care. And I'd be like, I don't care.
But you are clocking it all.
Oh my God.
I don't care. In fact, I love this.
Yeah. Get it while you can. In the very early 80s as a child. Yeah, you get it while you can. But then when they were putting on their talent show at the end of the summer, one of the boys was like, hey, do you want to help me put on the talent show? Do you ever do plays? Do you want to do a play? And I was like, I've never done it, but I'll do it. Because my sister and I put on plays, not like anything like this. So they were putting on the talent show. We were going to do the interstitials. He wanted it to be themed like Star Trek. He wanted me to play the captain. I'd seen Star Trek. I knew the role of the captain. He gave me dialogue. We rehearsed it once or twice, and then we put it up. And like, that was the night. Everybody showed up, campers, counselors. Each of the bunks put on the talent show. We're in a shootout. We get beamed up onto the thing. I say, take us to quadrant 7 to the whatever the name of the fucking bunk was. And then we watched the talent show. And then they cut to the next one. He goes, the next one is like, we'll call it Guadalajara 8, and it's this bunk. And so I go, wow, that was fantastic. And what a delight from those kids. And now let's head out to Guadalajara 8. You know what I mean? We did the whole show. And then at the end of it, everybody takes their bow. And I was like, I fucking like this. We improv'd and stuff. One of the other bunks was like, get us in there next. We're bunk number 3. And I was like, all right, I got you. And when the lights came up, I go, wow, that was delightful. Why don't we head over to bunks 3? And the kid that I had worked out all the shit with was like, hey, I'm directing. And I was like, oh, sorry. Step on your tongue. But we just improv'd. And I was like, this is fun. Is this a thing? Is this a thing that people do? And so then the next year, my mom worked at another camp. And I talked him into giving me one line at the very end of Hello, Dolly, right before the big song. So we got to rehearse and build the sets and everybody do their makeup and the showtime and the curtains open and everybody puts on the whole show. The audience is just entranced. And then I come up, I got my fucking line. I come out and say my line. I've said it perfect. The curtain opens for the big review. Everybody's dancing. And then we all take the bow, close the curtain. Everybody's applauding, take the bow. And I was like, I think I do this. Whatever this is, I think this is what I do. And I really came out of there fighting for it at that point. So I told my mom I needed to like get whatever it was, an agent, a manager, auditions, like you need to get me out there. And so she did. She took me, my godfather's brother worked in radio, knew about an on-camera training school in Philadelphia, and we didn't have the money for it. So my mom she'd paint murals on the interior of their studio in exchange for my sister and I taking classes there. So we did a couple months of that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, a couple months of that. And then I got the guy that was the main teacher, his wife was a talent manager. And in New York, it's different. Like you can freelance with all these companies. So commercials and things like that, you can freelance with agents. As an actor, you just have a manager that puts it all together. So that's what she did.
Yeah.
I waited 4 hours to audition for her in a room where you watch literally everybody audition. And
God.
Oh my God.
I didn't give a fuck, man. I was there to do it. I was like, oh, this is what you want. And especially watching all these other watching all these people audition, I was like, oh man, this is, you're not, oh, you missed your chair. You should have, and whatever it was. So by the time I got
I'm
in there,
better than these guys.
so ready. And it wasn't even about better. It was just like, wait till you see what I can do.
Right. Confidence. Yeah. 7-year-old kid with that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I love that you fell in love with the theater, and like, you know, most kids are kind of pushed into it, but you sought it out, and
I knew a lot of those kids, man. I knew a lot of those.
Yeah, me too.
And there's a lot of them washed out. I know a lot of kids that died. So there's a lot of that. But I think me knowing so early and being certain and wanting it, it's what helped me get through all the times when it was shitty, and like the swaths of time when you just don't work, or when anybody thinks of you so specifically that they can't even imagine you as something else. And I love playing characters. Characters is my favorite thing, like really giving a voice to, because it's always like the one line or the one scene and this one moment where this character is really important to the story. I like telling stories. I like the audience to get affected by the story. And when I can play a character that plays a role in the overall effect of the story, that's my favorite thing. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Like, if that one line that I've got is gold, or this like one moment I can spin into gold, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
One of the greatest storytellers, in my opinion, is Woody Allen, right? So you get this role like in Radio Days. How old were you when you got that? 12 years old. Was that your first big, I mean, you started acting at 7 or 8, but was that your first major? I started
working so quick, and it was a night shoot on a bus with a whole bunch of other people. I was the youngest person on the set, and I just was like, I was so hungry for this experience. Every bit of it, the camera, the film, the slate, the lights, the makeup, the whole thing, the like everybody being huddled in the cold outside the bus while they were setting it up, just everything about it. I was like, I'm in the right place. And when they called action and we did the scene and everybody was like, God, I felt like you were really in that. I was like, I was.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, this is what we're doing. So from then on, that first experience, I was like, send me on these auditions. Let me tear this up. This is exactly what I'm here for. And I just went, and I could tell when it wasn't going to be me. And I tried really hard not to have an opinion about it. There were roles that I got to audition for in movies that I wanted and I didn't get. And, you know, it's a bummer, but you grow to accept. The thing that I really figured out, and it was in my teens, and it was very, very hard to figure this out, is that if you love a director, if you really love a director and their films or their work, then you have to respect their vision, and you have to respect when you're not a part of it, right? No matter how much
it
you
hurts.
think it's me, it's me, and they're like, it's just not. And then especially once you direct, like the second you see a casting tape, right? Or the second you start directing and you have an opinion about what this character needs to be and you're like, fuck, dude, you're just too tall for this. Ah, shit, you know what? There's a physical thing that I'm not going to be able to get around with a wig or a mustache or whatever it is. It's always that, right? You need the audience to see that person. However you've prepared them, you see that person and they tell that story in that moment. And then you give them that dialogue, you give them those scenes, and the audience can feel it. That's the role of the director. So I had to accept, no matter how much I personally wanted or believed something. Sorry, there's a cat cameo. That,
I love it.
that you have to respect when you're not a part of the vision.
But you in Can't Hardly Wait, I mean, we were talking about, like, David and I both went back and rewatched that, and like, what you're doing in that movie is number one, stealing the movie. Like, number one, stealing the movie. And like you said, you love getting in there and be like, but it is so effortless. It's not like it doesn't look like you're trying to steal. Like, you are just showing up and doing that character so committed, so funny. I mean, the look, is insane. It's the single greatest wardrobe, everything.
The accent.
Oh, dear God.
You created a stereotype with that.
No,
with
this
that
guy
role.
existed. Everybody knew that kid. Boy, I saw that kid like crazy. He came out again.
I know, but I hadn't seen it on
Eminem was
film.
popular. Yeah, no. Well, the closest thing you'll see to it on camera is Zebrahead. Michael Rappaport, that movie that he made.
Yes, you're right.
About like
you're
a
right.
kid who grew up in, I think it was the Bronx. It's supposed to be just a white kid that grew up in the Bronx, and this is who this kid is. And that was the whole
Right,
idea.
but that was
is
not. You were making fun of that kid.
I was
that character.
doing something. Oh, well, just because that's the point, right? Like of a kid who has no permissible identity, right? Like this kid hates himself on the inside, and he looks at every other thing going into high school and does not believe that he holds up. And so he crafts this character that he thinks is defining, like the ultimate cool, the ultimate bulletproof vest that nobody's going to be able to see through. That this is some like weak, scared, lonely, horny little boy, right? Like
right.
Just,
and then you get locked into the bathroom, and then things start to get real.
Well,
it's
your
which
old,
is
it's
so
your old
great.
best friend, right? Like, and so you get to explore that idea of losing touch with each other and sort of forcibly drifting from each other as you try and define yourself in a way that's acceptable. And just the idea that this old friend, like, I can't live her. Nobody can see me around this girl. I never even heard of that girl. That got Denise Fleming's a tampon, yo. Like that's you think about what it takes emotionally to lash out at somebody that you love like that. And then the opportunity to tear all that away and reconcile. It was really fun. It's really fun. Lauren Ambrose is just such a phenomenal performer. Like, what a great dance partner.
Yeah, you two together were pretty fantastic.
She really,
those
were the writer directors really let you loose, man, on that. I feel like they let you rise to the top of your game.
Absolutely. I read the script and I was like, fuck, this is God, if I can get this fucking role, this is a breakout part. Cause I love all of the little parts in it, you know? So it's like John Cryer, guys like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Guys like that, where I was like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's this kind of thing.
Ducky.
Yeah. And Ethan Gate brought a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan's one of my favorite actors. Because like everybody in this movie brings an authenticity to it. Like there's nobody faking in this movie. Peter Facinelli, Charlie Korsmo, Love Hewitt. Everybody is like giving everything they got. Nobody's faking it. Even the silly stuff like Donald Faison and Breckenmeyer in this movie, like everybody's dead serious. Everybody's dead serious. That's why it works. So when you're in a place where everyone is committed, it elevates everybody's certainty that commitment is the play. You know? Yeah.
Talking about commitment, I mean, getting Austin Powers and working in that world with Jay Roach and Mike Meyer, like what was that a big deal for you when you got cast in that? And was that an extensive audition process, or was that something that sort of,
So it's just like sometimes things really work the way, sometimes things really like line up in your direction, right? You never know when it's going to happen. Right. I love Mike Myers. I grew up watching Mike Myers on SNL, and he's like a prototype for me. He's not that much older than me. He may be 10 years older than me, but he does so many things that inspired me and proved that something was possible, right? Where I was like, oh, fuck, he did it. Same way that Kevin Costner paid for Dances with Wolves because he needed that movie to get made. And I, as like an actor, was like, oh shit, you can like really put your money where your mouth is, get to be a big enough. It's like Will Ferrell getting to make Anchorman, but not until after he'd made Elf and Old School, right? So Mike had success with Wayne's World and had made So I Married an Axe Murder, which I thought was so funny.
It's so good. I know, so underrated. So underrated.
Well, it's just the way that movie going was at that point, that a lot of people didn't go see it. And so it was considered like not as big a financial success as Wayne's World. And Mike was having a very difficult time getting this movie financed. So my POV as an actor who has even done studio films, when I got that audition, I knew this is like a very independent movie that New Line was producing, but I was in San Diego and La Jolla doing my first play, like my first like long form play. I was doing American Buffalo in La Jolla.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
you know, I know it was very exciting. And I was having my first adult, because I was like 20 or 21, having my first adult actor experience. And it's just a play with 3 people. So there's 2 other actors, Dan Florek and Jonathan McMurtry, and they were just like there for me. Dan Florek was an actor I knew from like LA Law and a bunch of character shit, but I didn't know him as a theater guy. And we got like 5 weeks to rehearse this thing. And I just felt like an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just living at the theater and like playing backgammon with the sound guy. And there was 2 other plays going on in other theaters on the same campus, and they were putting them on and rehearsing. And it was just, it really felt like actor camp. If you've ever gotten to be really in it, like on a play. Anyway, so I was taking the shit so seriously. I was really trying to figure out character work, and everything was being approached from that level. So I read this script. And I was like, oh, this is very funny, because this kid is like a kid who's actually suffering. And if everything around him is chaotic and absurdist, then the more genuine this is. Like, if I can actually get to tears, this is going to be hilarious.
Yes. The same commitment, like you were saying with Can't Hardly Wait. Like,
It's
you
the
have
only-
to be dead.
Yeah, this guy's almost a straight man. Like, Scott Evil is just about a
For
straight
sure.
man.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that was the
you
thing.
have to have that character that the audience can feel like they are what is happening,
You're just
right?
like, what
that,
the
like
fuck
the
is happening
sanity.
here?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And if you're the
Neglected.
kid, if it's your dad, and everybody's listening to your dad, like he's right. And you're like, yeah, he's not right.
He's
Jesus.
insane.
Yeah, it's like, he's going to destroy the fucking world, guys. Like, that to me, I just thought that was so funny. And that's what it was. I got to send in a tape. I couldn't get in on their first round. And I think that worked in my favor. Like, they didn't like anybody that they found in their first round.
Right.
And so they were like, well, what about Seth? Do you think he'll come back and read for us again? And I was like, all right, I'll put it on tape. And my take on it was just that. I was just like, I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you. You think you can just show up here and have a relationship? I hate you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just thought that was
Like-
so funny. So I got the job, and that was it. We just talked about, I got to get there, and Mike's there. And the very first day I'm on set, he's shaving his head to play Dr. Evil. And I just remember thinking, now, fuck yeah, you are. This is a real commitment. This is what I'm looking for. Good. You've already validated my interest in working with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And did you,
So he
like you
was-
said, you're making this movie, which is sort of like a new line, but like not a,
And we knew there was not a lot of money for this. And
Right?
this was very much a proof of concept, right? And if it didn't work, which it sort of didn't at first, like, it did not make money in the box office. We made money on DVD.
Is that
DVD,
true?
It is true. The first movie cleared less than 50 million in its original theatrical run. And then the DVD just exploded, millions of copies
Whoa.
in weeks. For real. And so that's what gave everybody the confidence to greenlight a sequel. But the sequel made over
Was
50
massive.
in its first day. Its first day,
Oh
the
my
sequel made
God, it
over
was
50. It was
massive.
crazy. By the time
Yeah,
we
I
got
mean,
to the
it's-
third one, it was so otherworldly that all of us, except for Mike had a little bit of experience with that kind of a global success. But for the rest of us, I guess like Robert Wagner, there were a bunch of stars in the movie at that point that had like big blow up. But this is the biggest red carpet I'd ever had, was that third movie. Steven Spielberg was there. It was absurd. Britney Spears was there. Like, what were we even talking about? Tom Cruise is in the movie. Like, it's so stupid. You're just like, what are we even talking about?
Oh my God.
Mike Myers is getting letters from George Harrison. You know what I mean? Like, all the living Beatles want to meet him. It turned
it
into
was a
something
phenomenon.
so insane.
Yes.
Yeah, that I felt a little extracted from it. Like, it almost becomes something else, right? Like, I don't know if you've had that experience. You have a character that connects with people so much that I allow myself the distance of the character and don't really take the performance personally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody can be like, oh my God, you're so great. It's more like, wow, I really love this character. I really connected with it. I'm like, oh, good. We told that story. Yeah, we told that story.
I'm a piece in this, thing that is much, much bigger than any of us, right?
I've never really liked my name about it, right? Well, this was the thing that I learned on the play, the humility of the curtain call, because I was my very early 20s and was very uncomfortable. Just uncomfortable with the applause. I don't like it. That's not what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I just did this. I showed you this character. We told you this story. And now let me get out of here. Let me go cry about it.
Well, that's what's so interesting about that is that, but that was almost like, it's almost the opposite of why you got so hooked at like 5-6 years old at camp, right? Like those moments of like,
this is the funniest thing, right? No, it's not the attention. It's not the attention. It's that I have so much energy and focusing my energy in this place is really productive. And I love the effect. I feel like we who are so empathetic that we can authentically portray a wide range of emotions, it's up to us to share these emotions with other human beings in the shape of story so that they can feel these things or observe these ideas or understand something they never understood, or even just like laugh about it.
Right.
That's what I do. So it's never been like when I saw the people in the audience like react to the lines, I was like, oh, we made you feel something.
Right.
That
actually worked. That worked.
We made you feel something. You felt something else when you walked in here. You were feeling something else. And by the time you left, you feel something else. That's what I'm hooked on.
Right, right.
Like in photography, in comedy, in any kind of thing. That's the thing I'm the most addicted to is like, I see a moment. It's so funny. I got to make a movie and I gave Claire, my wife, I gave her this line of dialogue. She plays a photographer in the movie and she's talking to another photographer. And this was also something I wanted to do. I wanted to make romantic, flirtatious dialogue between hyper-specific camera person jargon. Do you know what I mean? I wanted two photographers to like turn each. I just wanted two photographers to like turn each other on by talking about film grades and camera lenses. Like that was the thing that was going to bring these two characters together. But also the task of the photographer of being addicted to that exact process. And so Claire has a line of dialogue. She goes, "Yeah, I see something. I capture it. I feel it. I make you feel it. Mm-hmm. I'm addicted to it." Like that is the thing, making you see something where you're like, holy shit, I feel that. I'm like, yes, we feel that.
It's great. It's great. Love that. What is that project? What is that? That's something you directed or wrote?
Yeah, we made this. Yeah, I wrote. Boy, I took on too much. Like it gave me a different respect for your husband. I'll tell you what, because like watching him do that, watch Edward do that, like write and direct a movie that you star in, it's a very unique kind of challenge. Because I wound up shortchanging myself as an actor, putting so much focus on all these other things. So like, I don't know. I learned a really good lesson. But yeah, that movie is a movie I made about. It's kind of it's a portrait of a non-toxic male friendship. And it is. I just wanted to make a couple of statements. One is that you're actually responsible for your side of a friendship. You can't just expect somebody to always be your friend. And then you have to like be there. You got to show up. And then the other thing is that it's never too late to start over. And like, no matter what you thought your plan was, no matter what age you thought you needed to achieve something by, it really doesn't matter. It's just whenever you get there. So
yeah,
I made
you
that
wake
movie.
up and it's a new day. That sounds beautiful, Seth. What is this movie?
It's called Changeland. It's a very small movie. You can still find it on Hulu.
That's great.
It's a lot less funny.
It sounds beautiful. I know. No, it sounds
it's a lot
beautiful.
less funny than I would have liked it to be. I realized after I made it, I was like, oh God, I deprived the audience of one of my greatest superpowers, which is to make this whole thing very funny. And in that, I kind of denied them the opportunity to get like comedy really primes you to feel something deeper. And when you're laughing about how relatable something is, it's a lot easier to make a more emotional point. And so I felt like I missed that opportunity, but I'll take that up.
You didn't sprinkle comedy throughout?
Yeah, there's funny moments, but like my character specific, I had this idea to tell a story about not an insignificant person, but like a person who wasn't as good at the things that you actually need to be, right? And he saw his parents get married and saw them stay together and never really knew about anything that they went through, like never really got any deeper than the surface. But he marries this girl and he thinks everything's great, even though he's not putting in the effort that you need to keep a marriage connected, to keep a relationship connected. And he doesn't know how to solve it. He just feels like it's failing. And so he books a second honeymoon for him and his wife in Thailand, like a 2-night, 4-day thing in Thailand. And on the eve of surprising her with it, he discovers she's been having a year-long affair. And instead of having the courage to confront her, he just leaves on the vacation and tells his old best friend to meet him and help him figure out what to do. Like she doesn't even know. Like when he leaves, she doesn't even know that he's gone. She just leaves for work like she always does. And you know what I'm saying? So
is it you and your wife playing these roles?
Well, here's the thing. Nobody believes me and my wife on film together as romantic leads. Like whenever we take pictures together at press lines, nobody can fucking take it. It's the best.
Why?
Because she's so tall and I'm so short and I look like this and she's stunning. Everyone assumes a lot of things about us, but it's the best. I told her it's the best coverage. We've been married for 15 years. And I said, babe, they'll never say anything about us except, oh my God, look how fucking tall he's so short. Like, let's use that. They'll write articles about it. They're like top 10 shortest mixed match cup, but whatever the fuck.
Oh dear God.
Like,
right.
And you'll laugh about it.
I don't give a shit, dude. I know how tall I am. I met Shaq in person. Like, there's no disguising this, right? Talking about let that hurt you, right? Let that be a weakness for you, and you'll never survive. So I made this movie. It's me and Breckenmeyer. That was the thing. I wrote this movie, and then I was like, God, they're never gonna let me. Nobody's gonna give me enough money to make this unless I fill it with some famous people. So I got like Macaulay Culkin, and I got Brenda Song, and I wound up putting wrestling superstar Randy Orton in a dramatic role. And I got to tell you, he delivered. Who else is in it? An actor named Kedar Williams, who was on Sex Education. And Rose, is that right? Yeah, Kedar Williams, and then Rose Sterling Williams. Is that right? No, it's Rose Williams and Kedar Sterling Williams. There it is.
Okay.
Rose Williams, an extraordinary actress. Oh my gosh. I didn't have to beg her, but I would have. She's so good in this. And so fucking
I can't
awesome.
wait to see this.
Yeah,
me too.
It is a little movie, I warn you. And I made it.
That's okay.
Like I wanted it to
Did you shoot in Thailand? Yeah. Where did you shoot to be Thailand?
I shot all in Thailand. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's how I got everybody to come. I was like, hey, look, I'll set you up. I made deals with all these resorts and whatnot that we'd make them look gorgeous on film. And then they gave us cut rates on it. I made a deal with the Board of Tourism to try and get government grants against making Thailand look extraordinary and showing how easy the travel there was. And then my whole movie, it features points of travel that everybody goes to. And that was kind of a point that I wanted to make too, is that millions of people every year travel to these places and we don't even know why we're going there. And it just is a thing and everyone goes and you take the selfie and I guess we did it. Yeah. The thing that I love about it, and I should have made this point in the movie, but I didn't hear it until after. The guy one of the stone keepers at Stonehenge, we spent a good amount of money to be able to spend a lot of time there and like take a couple of different kinds of tours. And then I really chatted this guy up. And I said, what is it? Well, how did you get here? Why are you here? Stonehenge, right? Stonehenge, over 1,000 years at least. And we don't know. We still don't know. It's all guesses. There's bodies under there. Like who knows which generation built it? Who knows which generation decided to put stuff there? And at what point they were burying it? At what point they put the stones? Like who used it? At what generation they used it for what? Who knows? Lost the time. Best guess. That's all we got. And he said, but what I've come to realize it is a place that humans have gathered have spent time in solitude. It is a space that humans have stood for millennia and wondered, what is this? What is this experience that we all share? Anybody that travels to the stones, they've come with the same intent of discovery. And when you stand in that space, you're struck by the feelings of it, whether that's something electromagnetic or sound-based or the sheer energy of the bodies buried underneath it. Like, who knows? Who knows? But what it is it's something that we as humans can share through time. And that in itself is extraordinary. So, we do this thing at all these places, and this is how we mark this life we live, right? It's only memories. You can't take nothing with you but your soul. Nobody knows what happens next. It's all our best guess. And so these are experiences that we can share to make us feel closer to other humans over thousands of years. I think that's super cool. So
dude, I hope some of that's in the film. That was like an insane monologue just there.
It's in the film a little bit. I might do something else because this is my first shot at directing a movie, and I won't say I felt cocky, but I felt well prepared at the very least. Like I've made over 40 feature films with other people, and I've produced a ton of television. I feel like I understand the process enough, and I've talked to so many directors and like asked the questions, and then shadowed people and just try and listen. And everybody gives great intel. And the biggest thing I wish I had done was had someone else call action and cut just so that I could be focused on my performance and maybe spent a little bit more time on my own performance, because I would have just given different color to this character than I was able to. I forgot, you know what I didn't realize, and you'll appreciate this. I didn't even realize how much work I do between cut and action. I do so much work between cut and action so that when they call action, I'm in a different take. You know what I mean? And I deprived myself of that work. So
it's a big, heavy lift to do it all.
Does Ben even like being in front of camera anymore?
Well, it's funny that you said that because but it's been a while. Like his goal early on was to, he wanted to direct from the beginning and of course loved acting, but he had gotten to a point in his career where in order to get to direct a movie, because at that point he was a movie star, they wanted him to star in it.
I remember.
And it really was the biggest thrill for him when he got to the point of being able to direct something that he didn't have to star in, that he could actually direct and just stay in that space, write, produce, whatever.
Didn't he do Cable Guy? Wasn't that it?
Yeah, he did Cable. Exactly. He did Cable Guy.
I remember how fucking huge that was, and what a cool. I don't want to get off on that because he already knows how much I love him. But just talking about, he knows that I've chased him my whole career.
You guys are so funny together. In fact, I feel like Seth, we found when we moved from LA to New York like 14 years ago. And it took us a few years to like clear out our storage and everything from his office in LA. And I feel like we recently cleared out like some storage units we had there. And there's some huge framed either photo of you or a poster of you that you signed to Ben. What? It was clearly a joke. No, it's like really hilarious. I got to track it down and send you a photo of it because we were laughing so hard. Yes.
That's so funny. We had the same agent for a while and for a few years. And so we wound up like really bumping up against each other. We got to sell a feature to Disney when he and Edward were making Keeping the Faith. And it was before Zoolander. And they wound up going through a bunch of political regime stuff. That movie never got made. But I got the most incredible education with Stuart Kornfeld, who's like the greatest. And I know everybody, like even talking about him, I know we'll all just choke up a little bit at the fact that this great human being isn't on the planet anymore. But everybody that he touched, everything that he did, it was so deep. So because we were very young, it was the first script I'd ever sold. And he just fucking told me the way it was gonna go, like real talk, no bullshit. And with some kindness, like, hey, I know you wish it was gonna be different, but they're probably gonna fire your buddy. And you know what I mean? Just like right off the bat, this is how it's gonna go.
Real. David, this was Ben's producing partner for like many, many, many years, and he passed away a few years ago, cancer. But he is
I'm sorry.
He is just I just feel like
towering
the lives he touched in show business since the 70s. Like,
yeah.
He's
in Fast Times. Oh my gosh, he's on camera
he's in
Fast Times.
Yes.
Who is he in Fast Times?
He works in Judge Reinhold's place. He's like Judge Reinhold's
fast food
boss.
place. Yeah.
You'd
recognize him. You'd recognize him. He shows up in movies. I mean, Old School was on the other day, and he's like the taxi cab driver.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He's got like.
Oh my God.
Of course, he's in Ben's movies too over the years. But that's really lovely that he kind of took you and gave you the real deal, but with some love and heart, as only Stewart could do.
It was tough, that I just learned a lot of things that I really didn't know. I was very indignant and righteous about my opinions and knowledge, and I didn't quite understand how much of a collaborative thing it could be with a studio and the studio executives. And I really saw everything that they were saying and offering as an obstacle, and my attitude was dead wrong. But you know what I got to learn?
Youth? Isn't that a little bit of youth also?
It is. And just what's great? I got to run into one of those executives more than 15 years later. We ran into each other at some other kind of mixer. And we both apologized to each other. It's the craziest thing. I said, hey man, I got to tell you, like I was so young and I didn't realize what an ally you could have been. And he goes, that's so funny. I felt like all I did was try and talk creatives out of their ideas. And I was like, let's just hug it out. Let's fucking hug it out.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my God. Seth, the Family Guy, 400 something episodes. What has that experience been like? And what is the process like because Christine and I think voiceover actors are the most incredibly talented, but what an amazing gig, right?
Dude. It's absurd. Yeah. I've worked on a lot of things that got canceled, right? Like I've made so many pilots that didn't even go past pilot. And then I've made a handful of things to 12, or every once in a while you get like 22 episodes or something, but it's very rare.
Right.
Or I'm like not on the show for the period of time that they're the most successful, like with Buffy.
Right.
Or
that 7 out of 13.
With Buffy, that was not those were not the prime years that you were on there.
Buffy, I got, so I was depending on whether you see it on Wikipedia or the way that we were contracted, whether it's like season 1 or season 2, but I did a bunch of episodes recurring under just first it was like guest star, and then they were like, hey, we're going to bring you back for like a recurring. And so after I'd done 9 of those before they said, hey, what if we made you a regular? And I was like, okay. And I did 22 episodes as a regular. But it was at a time where I was getting a lot of really incredible film opportunities.
Wait, were you, am I crazy, but were you in the Buffy movie also? I feel like you are, no?
I am, but I'm not.
Don't you have a little?
I am, but I'm not.
Credited?
So here's the funny piece it's a trivia thing.
Because I vividly remember you.
On the back of the video box, it's me and Sasha, and I'm like biting Sasha's neck. And the scene is not in the picture, but it was one of the only on-set stills that they had of a vampire. And I remember this because I'm in the rig and I'm like doing a flying gag. It was the first time I got to ride a wire. I was so excited. I'm about 14. So excited about it. Get to ride a whole makeup, the mouth and everything. And the joke was that my teeth had braces. Like I was a teenager with braces and vampire. So I got to do a scene with Paul Rubens. It was the second time I got to meet him, but the first time that he would remember it. And it was the fucking greatest. It was the greatest. So when they're there and the on-set photographer is like, hey, can I take a picture of you guys? And I was like, sure. Like that. And it's on the back of the DVD.
That's what I'm imagining. Yes.
It's on the back of the box.
That is what I'm imagining. That is crazy.
My hair's crazy. I'm wearing a tie.
Totally. Okay,
but then I'm not in the movie. But then I wound up on the show. It's crazy because in that experience, that's why I met Luke Perry. That's why I met Donald Sutherland, and that's why I met Christy Swanson. It was all that scene. That's where I met Paul Rubens. That's where I met Sasha. Do you remember Sasha? He's in Dazed and Confused.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
So, this is the thing. You give me like a 2-line prompt, and I'm gonna tell you a really long story. Sorry, guys.
What is an episode of Family Guy like? I mean, you guys
that's
do
where we started. So
table
Family
read.
Guy, since COVID, since video conferencing, everybody can be on the table reads. I mean, not McFarlane. People read him for McFarlane because he's shooting other stuff. But
you're not in person around a table.
Nobody's got to be in person anymore. It's incredible, and that way everybody can be a part of it. Because getting to the location was the hardest part. Like we just couldn't get everybody there, and so now you've got a much. Yeah, just at the same time on a particular day, it became really challenging.
I feel like something circulated on social media recently of one of the table reads, or maybe it's a regular thing, but I saw it and it was so cool for me to see you all in the Zoom boxes and you doing your thing. Like I was like, this is so cool. Like it's just fun. So cool. And also watching you all watch everybody else do their thing. It was real. I don't know when it circulated, but I feel like I saw it in the last 6 months.
Oh, cool.
But so anyway, that's how you do the table reads. And then are you recording from home?
Guys.
I mean, it sounds like
COVID,
a gift from God.
Since COVID, we all had anybody that was doing voiceover. Yeah, we think about that all the time. My wife and I were very grateful for the job. It gives us a lot of, it gives us a lot more flexibility in being able to take risks in places that we feel like we'd like to. Like we both have businesses that we're venturing in a couple different places. And any of the stuff that I'm producing is essentially that. It's a business venture. So being able to feel safe in a particular employment is always a nice calculation.
Have stability.
They picked us up
in this business.
They announced that and I think it's in advance of all these mergers and the regulations that are coming with who houses what, but they announced that they were picking up The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, and Family Guy for an additional 4 years, 4 seasons.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So cool.
Thanks.
You built a sound booth in your house?
Yeah. Well, first of all, what you realize is how short the runway to broadcast is. That was the thing because it just used to take a lot more technology. It just used to take a lot more equipment. The same way that computers used to fill an entire building. Now it's, it's like the size of your thumb. That's kind of where we are. So you need a really good mic and you need a sound blocked system. And that can be at this point limited baffling and some kind of closet enclosure. And then it's a targeted enough microphone that it's only capturing the sound. And then you can record in something as simple as QuickTime. Put all that through your Pro Tools. It's a very limited cleanup on the other side. We can Dropbox it. Or they have Fox has their proprietary. Each one of the networks has their proprietary Dropbox system, but it's essentially
like a Dropbox,
like a massive oversized file share. And that's how we do it.
Do they send you all the equipment and they do it for you, or they just tell you what to get? And
way back in the beginning of the pandemic, the first people to send it to me were Disney, because I had 3 different Disney things that I was working on, my Star Wars and whatnot. And then then we just kept all that equipment. That's what it was. They're keep this equipment, use this microphone, use this baffle. And then we were able to make improvements over time. We went on Amazon and got a bunch of the egg stuff, stuck it on the wall. You do what you do.
I love that it's just that simple. Like you were talking about. It's you just order it on Amazon.
You need a good tech on the other side.
Yes.
You need a good tech that can receive that information and do all the kinds of cleanup and make it applicable, balance everybody's sound so that there's no, unusual echo. You can hear it a little bit in the couple of episodes that were produced in the very beginning of the pandemic. Somebody's vocal quality is just way different.
Off. Totally off,
God.
right?
And they're we tried, I guess, but they were clearly in a freshly painted room or something.
Right.
I love that one of the funniest comedies of the last few decades on network TV can be recorded in a bunch of closets in people's houses. That's just so crazy.
That's the secret. David, don't share the secret.
Oh, sorry.
This clearly does. But it does, I'll tell you what it does is it saves a lot of money on the other side. And as a producer, you start to realize where these savings are really viable. So in a lot of cases, we would have writers' rooms that weren't in person. The writers would prefer to keep an open Zoom with the head writers on the comm, and they can come in anytime they want, but they can step away, write in silence. Right. And then we have set meeting times throughout the day. And a lot of people prefer it. I don't mind incurring the extra expense of providing refreshments or lunch or coffee throughout the day, because you get a different energy when everybody's in the same room, even if they break apart and go on their own computers or go to their own sections or take a walk or whatever it is that they want to go work at Starbucks and come back for the meeting time. Even if it's that, being in the same place, especially with comedy, it just does something else. Does something.
Yeah, that is the job. That is like the holy grail. The holy grail job. It's just David and I. It's our running joke. But we also owned the fact that it's like we would love it, but when we see the talent, when we see the difference of someone who's very seasoned and knows what they're doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I could go in and do an episode of something.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Is the thing. It's the same.
No, but I'm like, I'm not a master. Yeah.
Well, I've had 10,000 hours at this point. Like,
exactly. That's true.
I started doing voiceover when I was a little kid. Like, they got me doing radio so quick, you guys, because my voice sounded like a baby. But then I'm reading at this like 3rd grade level. Right. You know what I mean? 5th grade
so
level.
You could
I started reading Narnia when I was like 10. You know what I mean? By the time I was 12, I was doing Catcher in the Rye and just all this very
Oh my God.
Because I was real curious about, I was just reading all this stuff. I got very into stand-up comedy and started listening to my parents' records and just all this advanced material. So by the time, I'm like 8 years old when they were like, maybe you can do voiceovers. Can you read this? And I'll be like, sure.
Smucker's grape jelly. I've never had the most delicious jelly. With a name like Smucker's, it's gotta be good.
Like, they call me for everything.
That was
that was amazing.
Brilliant.
Because your voice is so low now, and you can still get into that register. See?
Well, I had this rasp. That was it. I had like the little boy
rasp.
Yes, that was what got me.
Which you still have.
Voice. I do. I still. It's because I like smoking.
You still have.
With a name like Smucker's, it ought to be good.
Well, but it was everything, right? When AT&T started allowing for like multiple lines on the same household, it was like, my dad is the worst. They won't let me use the phone ever. But now we've got advanced calling from AT&T and nobody's blocking the line. You know what I mean? You just do all of it. I did all of it.
I love that you also clearly have these. They're so embedded in they're like in your microchip in your brain.
Yeah, but you can
dialogue.
fake it too. Let's just like improv diarrhea, right? Like you get a general knowledge about an idea and then you just like keep talking until it's funny.
Well, it worked. You
have the every guy voice though, not like the movie trailer voice.
Yeah.
You know, you have that every guy, like I'm every teenager on,
Well, that's why Robot Chicken was fun, was because I could do all the other shit too. Like I grew up studying all the other stuff. Guys like Michael Winslow were my favorite heroes. The guy from Police Academy that did all the sound effects.
Oh my God.
I was like 10 years old when I saw Police Academy and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I just started practicing. I just started practicing. Right. I was like, I gotta, you're not even in it unless you can. And then beatboxing hit the scene and the sounds that people could make, the breath control. I was like, man, I just want to understand this. So all that gets me back to like why Robot Chicken was the best, because we could just do anything. Just do anything.
It's such a unique show. Just real quick about Robot Chicken. It's like the animated sketch idea. It's so unique.
It doesn't feel that, it's funny, it doesn't feel that original to me just because I grew up on stuff like Python Flying Circus and The Simpsons when they were on Tracy Ullman and like all this hyper short form animated stuff. It's so effective. And when I moved out to LA in 91, an organization called the Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Film Festival was in La Jolla. So I drove down there to see this, and it was a bunch of subversive, I don't know, artists all making like weird, fucked up short form cartoons. And that's where Mike Judge came from. It started with his thing, Inbred Jed, which became Beavis and Butthead. And it was Trey and Matt too had Spirit of Christmas there along with like Bill Plimpton stuff. So I got into all of these ideas, and even like the early MTV interstitials were content, you know?
Totally.
So the idea of making hyper short form sketch comedy, we just hadn't weaponized it against pop culture quite that aggressively. And that's what we did. We took all the hyper niche conversations that we, the comic and TV horror nerds, were into that would never get like mainstream. This is the stuff that like is very niche. We thought that's what we were talking about. And Adult Swim gave us a platform to reach millions of people who all wanted to talk about it. That's what took us by surprise, was we thought we were just telling, like, wasn't that fucking crazy? Remember that commercial? Wasn't that nuts? And everybody was like, that was nuts. That commercial was nuts. But it was the same thing that the Family Guy was doing. That's why when I read that script, I was so excited. Like, I couldn't believe somebody was taking all this stuff that I knew about, that I thought was funny, and putting it in a show like this, using it as a punchline machine.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Robot Chicken seems like almost like a progression from Family Guy.
I will take credit for repopularizing stop motion, and that's something we will delight in reviving, because stop motion is such a viable art medium, and you can use it for any kind of storytelling, but especially for comedy, because of the way it tricks your eye. You're seeing something that's actually happening. You know, the lights and the shadows and all the texture. And then if you've got a really skilled animator, they'll make you believe that that thing is alive. That's right. It does something else. So when your brain is primed like that, you can receive a joke very quickly.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. You're right. That's so great.
The look is so cool.
So great. Oh my God. Seth, we've kept you way too long. We've kept you way too long. I swore to you that it would be an hour. I always say an hour, I swear.
You just didn't know you got the chatterbox on the line.
No,
it just flies by. This was great.
Are you kidding? This was so amazing to talk to you. Like, really, like after knowing you all these years peripherally and running into you, to actually get to like hear these stories is just awesome. And what I love is just, you're just such a lifelong learner, like literally from day one of you like studying, and you're still doing it. And it's just awesome.
And
it's
excited.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, my dear. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, great to see you.
Awesome.
Hey, David, great to see you.
So
oh my gosh,
good to
it's
see
been a long
you.
time, man. I'll see you when next time I see you again.
I'll get, we'll get in touch through Christine, but it's so good to see you, buddy. Wow. He's just such a optimistic, exciting, spiritual. I don't know. That was a great interview.
Yeah. I mean, fascinating, because just even the way he told the story of knowing that he was going to do this in his life, which we've all heard, like we all have those moments, and we've talked to our guests where the moment of like seeing that play or doing this, but the way he could articulate being 5, 6, 7 years old and getting, go at his mom's camp and being able to be a part of it, and always wanting to be with the older kids, because it just seems like he just had such an appetite for comedy, for storytelling in a way that I think he continues, like the way he articulates it to me, like even in what he's trying to achieve as an actor, and what he goes for in characters, and what he is attracted to in characters, because he's done so much work over the years. And I just love that he leaned into, like he said, he was this little precocious kid with this high pitched voice, reading at a level beyond his years. And then he shifted into the teenage, and he's like, I'm not playing the leading man. So and he just leaned into it, and he's embraced it in a way that has given him such an incredible career. And, that continues.
Yeah, he is a great character actor. That's what he considers himself, right? He plays all different kinds of characters. I think he's naturally gifted at comedy. Like he's the kind of person that you talk to for 10 seconds and you're already laughing.
Yes.
But he said the word gratitude so many times, and he would remember moments when he was discovered something and was like, whoa, what is this? Like this is gonna take my life in a new direction. Like he just seems, like you said, constantly learning, still excited by life, by our business.
And constantly curious, it feels like, too. It's just like, I just think he is, it's great. It's really great to kind of go deep with someone that for me, I have seen play so many parts and characters, and seen him in the comedy and all of it. I also just loved him talking about Austin Powers, and really like having to ground that character in reality because of all the crazy, I love that in comedies. You need that character in comedies to ground the story and to get the audience, you have to have a filter for the audience to see the through the eyes
Right.
of the character. And I love that,
Right.
that he played that, because he played
Scotty's
that so
looking-
real.
Yeah, Scotty's looking at everyone as if they're as crazy as the audience is looking. Like
Yes, exactly.
He's our eyes. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right. It's so good.
but
So
yeah,
good.
conversation like that with Seth like gets me just excited.
Yeah.
Excited about life and
Yeah.
creativity and trying new things.
Yeah. Great.
But
Super cool.
I hope everyone enjoyed that. Thank you for listening. You can follow us at Hey Dude, the 90s Called. You can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. And what else? Download the app.
listen to us wherever you get your
listen,
podcasts.
watch, share these episodes with anyone you think would love them. And we really enjoy doing them. So we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Yay Media Group.